What is up, Watch fam? Happy Monday, and welcome to this week's episode of RANT&H. I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and today we're going to be jumping into 3 fashion watch brands you shouldn't buy and 3 you should instead. So let's do it. All right, before we jump into this awesome and ever-relevant topic, a quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing my personal Omega Seamaster, a watch that was given to me by my parents on my 21st birthday, a watch that is basically irreplaceable, even though it's only probably worth $2,000 or whatever it might be. This watch, I wouldn't sell it for triple that. I genuinely, I know it's easier said than done, but even the supremacy of the watch itself aside, you know, 1, what it means to me as a gift from my parents, and 2, which I think is super cool, the fact that Omega recently reissued this watch, basically giving my watch a big nod. I don't know, I'm just madly in love with this very simple 3-hand vintage Omega. Okay, so getting into it. Let's start here. The 3 fashion watch brands. Michael Kors, Daniel Wellington, and MVMT. These are 3 probably of the fashion watches that represent most of that market being one that is swallowing so much of the lower end, approachable, kind of online but like department store level watch market. They're incredibly influential. I would say, although yes, I live in an Instagram world where it's Rolexes and APs and Pateks, those watches don't make up a fraction of the true, like, or native, you know, truthful, honest advertising being done, you know, on Instagram from clients of Michael Kors and MVMT. People love this stuff, and that doesn't make them stupid or tasteless. In my opinion, it makes them misinformed. So I'm making this video to inform everyone of what's really going on. So, price-wise, let's start to narrow this down. We're talking between $100 and $200 realistically, a little bit of room on each side, right? MVMT typically is between that $110 to $150 level. Daniel Wellington retails above $150, but often, at least it seems, trades below $150. And Michael Kors really has the most audacity of them all, trading above $200 in many instances, well, even into the 300s, which, and I'll get into this in a second, is totally ridiculous. I don't really actually know what else to say apart from the fact that it's totally ridiculous. So let's talk facts. What makes these watches bad? What makes their ownership kind of ridiculous? A couple of things, actually. Quality of construction, history, and design. In respect to construction, these brands are using very inexpensive quartz movements that even just a one-off, forget buying $30,000, $80,000, for one is $10. So you can really only imagine the value of the heart that is powering your kind of like socially approved wristwatch. So if I can buy one for $10, I can only imagine that Michael Kors is paying $1 and change, maybe $2. In respect to history, there's nothing. I mean, these brands, apart from their kind of occasionally clever marketing, their brand identity is totally vapid. I mean, it's nothing but trendy. And as far as design is concerned, frankly, these brands and their designs are a dime a dozen. I mean, what really separates MVMT from Daniel Wellington? You're talking about uber minimalist, uninventive cases, simplistic, basically bare dials, and nothing else beyond that. In no facet, beyond marketing, beyond the looking cool wearing one, beyond your friends have one, there really is no actual reason to spend your hard-earned money on these watches. In fact, there are brands, and I'm going to get into them right now, 3 brands that have worked way harder to deliver a much better product to you. So let's start off with number 1, Swatch. If you want to jump in and explore the world of fun and very kind of design-wise expressive watches, this is the perfect brand. For $70, which is a fraction of what the rest of these brands are charging, Swatch is delivering to you their own quartz movements in a ton of models, all which share the kind of common fundamental design that has been with Swatch since the 80s. I think maybe even before that. I mean, this is a brand that just the Swatch brand. Forget the fact that it's a conglomerate that owns almost all of the watches that we know and love, like Omega and Blancpain and Glashütte Original and et cetera, et cetera. Just the Swatch label brand itself that has been worn and enjoyed by watch geeks both big and small for like almost 40 years. A Swatch was my first watch, right? The Greek Olympics Swatch from '04 was really the watch that got me used to wearing a watch on my wrist every day, and I'd still be proud to wear it out in public. In fact, I wore that watch when I literally witnessed Paul Newman's Daytona being auctioned for $18 million. It's a watch that is basically ever relevant. In my opinion, it's a ton of value for 70 bucks. And if you want a spring for the 180, you can go with the System 51. The first mechanical watch that is actively manufactured by machine with no human intervention in the process. That is incredible. These are, on a small scale, important watches. Number 2, another brand that means a whole lot to me, Timex. And actually, when it comes to design, although I think their execution of the Weekender is improved and better from MVMT and from Daniel Wellington, it kind of shares some fundamental design principles. It's a simplistic dial, it's a chronograph, it's oversized at 40 millimeters, large dial, but the price comes in at 40 bucks. That's the real value there, right? I have no problem with a kind of uninventive watch. I do think Timex executed better than the 2 other brands, but even calling all things equal, at 40 bucks, I have no problem with the fact that your design is a little bit, you know, mundane. You know, you're not trying to be anything that you're not. Props to Timex, and that's at the $40 range. If you go up a little bit to their Mark I, a reissue of a military watch from 1982, you're only spending $99, and you have the opportunity to wear a watch with a very, almost disproportionately rich military history. It's kind of a funny one. The watch didn't go to combat or war, but it was absolutely commissioned by the United States government, and that's very hard to beat. Double the price, go up to $199, and you have the Timex Marlin, a manually wound watch that looks straight out of the 40s or 50s. This is a brand that brings stupid value, a brand that is self-aware in what they produce, prices accordingly, and puts MVMT, Daniel Wellington, and Michael Kors to shame. Number 3, one of the most important watch brands of all time. We're going with my boys Seiko in Japan, and they've got genuinely a myriad of options, almost, I hate to say unlimited because they are unlimited, but an ever-evolving door of classic, affordable watches, whether they are solar-powered, which I think is incredibly interesting, in their reference SNE 039, which I think has a really classic kind of style. You can either wear it, you know, on a black leather strap and dress it up, or a brown suede and dress it down, or you can go totally formal with your tank style SUP 880, or you got the Sarb, or you got the Alpinist. I mean, there are, like I said, almost endless variations of Seikos that are offering interesting movements, both solar, quartz, and mechanical, for prices that are in a couple $100. Sure, they're a little bit over MVMT, they're a little bit over Daniel Wellington, but I already offered 2 direct competitors that kicked their ass, so I think that it is wise for me to show the next level. Really, you know, what is out there, guys. Don't waste your money. Don't be misinformed. Don't be fooled by bullshit Michael Kors MVMT marketing. Like so many of you watch geeks out there, I see through their veil of bullshit, and I would hate to see you watch geeks get burned on your money. There is so much more out there in respect to construction, history, and design, and I want you to own it. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode of RANT&H. If you like this video, slam that subscribe button down below, and I will see you all tomorrow. What the fuck? Why are you making me look like what I'm doing? I wear short shorts. Shorts are supposed to be short, okay? When I stand, they're not that short. Look, they're not that short, but they're not. Can we get into the episode, please?